Something was out in those woods watching me for hours before I even realized it. And by the time I figured it out, it was almost too late to leave. I've been hunting since I was maybe 12. My uncle Dresden took me out for the first time near Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I never really stopped after that. It's just a part of who I am. I'm the guy who wakes up at 3 a.m. excited to sit in a cold tree stand for 6 hours and come home with nothing. My wife Seraphine thinks it's weird. Honestly, she's probably right. This was a November morning, early, like stupid early. I drove about 40 minutes outside of Knoxville to a piece of private land I had permission to hunt, parked my truck near a dirt road, grabbed my gear, and started walking in. It was cold but calm. The kind of morning where everything feels clean and quiet. I remember my bootlace kept coming undone, and I tripped over a root twice because I was too lazy to stop and retie it. I got to my stand around 5:15, sat there, listened. Nothing weird at first, just normal wood stuff. Wind moving through the branches, crows starting up somewhere to the east. A squirrel doing whatever squirrels do at 5 in the morning. I ate a granola bar and just kind of zoned out watching the field. Then around 6:30, I caught a light moving on the ridge to my left. Just a flashlight, slow and steady. I thought, okay, another hunter happens. But there was no trail on that ridge. Nothing worth hunting over there either. Still, I let it go. Except the light kept showing up. Every time I shifted in my stand, every time I turned to look in a different direction, the light was back. Same ridge, same spot, like it was keeping pace with wherever I was looking from. I told myself it was nothing. I really did. About an hour later, I climbed down to stretch and check a scrape nearby. That's when I saw the boot prints. Fresh ones, crossing right over my own tracks from that morning. Whoever made them was walking parallel to me, not toward deer, toward me. Staying just inside the tree line, far enough back to stay blurry. I stood there staring at the ground for a second. I even walked a few steps in the direction they came from, then stopped. Didn't feel like a good idea. Then a deer call went off. One bleat, just one, but it came from the north, behind me. No hunter sets up there. There's nothing to hunt from that angle. It felt weird, like someone testing to see if I'd turn around. I climbed back to my stand. I sat there for another minute, then pulled out my trail camera more out of habit than anything. I kinda wish I hadn't done that. The camera had a photo of a figure standing in the tree line, maybe 60 yards from my stand, completely still, just standing there. The timestamp showed 4.5 minutes between the first and last photo. Same spot, same position. Face was too shadowed to make out. But the person was carrying gear and seemed to be watching my setup. Not looking for deer, watching where I hunt. I climbed down and packed up. I didn't rush. I told myself I was just done for the day, not scared, just done. When I got back to my truck, the front passenger tire looked low. I crouched down and found a small folded wire wedged right against the valve stem. Not punched in, just placed there. Set gently, slow enough to cause a leak over a few hours. I stood up. I remember just staring at the tree line. Someone planned this. They wanted that tire to go flat slowly. Slow enough that I wouldn't notice until I was out on some dirt road in the dark with no signal and nowhere to go. I threw everything in the truck and drove out on the flat. Didn't stop until I hit a gas station near downtown Knoxville. I remember sitting there under those big parking lot lights, thinking, what kind of bastard does something like that? I left my hunting boots outside that night because they were muddy, and I forgot to bring them in. So they were still on the porch the next morning, covered in frost. I filed a report with the sheriff's office. The deputy I talked to didn't seem too worked up about it. Nothing ever came of it. The land was sold the following spring, and I never went back. But I still hunt, just closer to home now. And every single time before I walk into the woods, I I check my tires, check my valve stems. I don't know why I keep looking at that trail camera photo either. I saved it on my phone. Sometimes I zoom in, hoping I'll finally see the face. I never do.